So if you want to know what is going on with the boat market and boat prices at the minute, I just wanted to make this video because I've been having this conversation more and more often over the last month or two with prospective buyers and sellers as to what is actually happening. During the COVID-19 pandemic, boat prices went crazy. Anybody that's been a boater or has tried to buy a boat in the last 2 or 3 years will know that prices just skyrocketed. They increased by, in some cases, as much as 30% for used boats, and demand was crazy. It was very much a seller's market. Gazumping was rife, all sorts of things. It was madness whenever you think back on it, and I always knew it was going to be short-lived, and it has now come to an end. 2024, definitely the COVID bubble has burst, and prices are coming back down. It's very much swung around now to be a buyer's market. So as a buyer, you've got lots more choice. There's lots more boats available. Sellers are lots easier to talk to, and prices are starting to come back down now. It's kind of been a bit of a slow process because people that bought during the bubble are trying to get their money back out of the boats. People who were late to the party have sort of been pricing their boats high to try and take advantage of the premiums that were there, but the reality is they're gone. Now, we are still selling boats, and there's lots of buyers out there, but they're not prepared to pay the sort of peak COVID prices, and values are basically headed back to where they were pre-COVID. That's the way I see it. They're not quite there. There's still a little bit of a premium over sort of pre-COVID prices, but they're headed back that direction, and it's totally understandable. The vast majority of buyers that I am speaking to at the moment are existing boaters, so they have had boats for years and they've seen that rise and fall in the market, and they've maybe been sitting on the sidelines during the COVID bubble because they didn't want to, they could see that a lot of boats were overpriced, and now they're ready to move because they see them coming back down. They can see a wee bit of value again. So there's no first time buyers, there's nobody getting the wool pulled over their eyes, and it's just returning to a more normal market, the way the boat market has been. Like, boats depreciate. If you not buy, like, used boats have a fairly slow depreciation curve if you take COVID out of the mix, but you shouldn't be expecting to make 10% or 20% or even really get your money back in a boat nowadays. They do depreciate typically about 5% per year. On a brand new boat, you're going to lose the VAT in the first year, you're going to lose 5 or 10% then for the next few years as well. They are a depreciating asset, and you just have to sort of get on board with that fact if you are looking at buying a boat. So that's where the market is. We're trying our best to make sure that we're working with realistic sellers, and we're working hard to price our boats properly. So price reductions used to be a bad thing, and if you saw a boat that had 2 or 3 price reductions in the past, you'd be thinking, oh, what the hell, there's something wrong with that boat, must be a bad boat. That's not necessarily the case today, because it could just be the case that it was priced at what it would have been worth maybe a year or 18 months ago, and the buyer sort of has wised up to that fact, and they're coming down to more realistic levels. So we're selling. We've done a deal on a Gianni Prestige 36 there this week. We've done a deal on an Axel Power 28. We have accepted offers that are below the asking price. So there's some boats where you can try, by all means, if you're thinking about buying a boat, try an offer. I would 100% recommend trying an offer. But if you see something that had a big price reduction, or is like 20% below the top one on the market, chances are that boat's going to be at a more realistic level for the actual current selling prices. This is one such boat that we've just dropped the price on. This Cranky is a Firo 34, was on at 100,000, 99,950. We've just dropped it to 82,950, which is a much more realistic price level. That's the kind of money one of these boats would have sold for before COVID, and that's where the value is in them at the moment. This is a 2008 boat with D4 engines, not big oars, and it's a beautiful example, actually. So this is kind of indicative of where we are at the moment. Our entire business is selling boats. That's all we do. We obviously service them and do repairs and all that sort of stuff, but sales is the main focus, and we generally only work on the boats that we're selling. So we've got to make sure things keep turning. If you are a buyer, the good news is that you have lots of choice on the market. You can also be picky about the boat you buy. There's every possibility. There's going to be multiple examples of the model that you want, and also multiple different sellers. So if you find that you're not getting anywhere with a particular broker or seller, you can move on to the next one. The whole boat buying process is supposed to be fun. at the end of the day. So if you're not gelling with the person you're dealing with, my advice is move on to the next one. If the boat doesn't tick all the right boxes, move on to the next one. You'll definitely be welcome, no matter who you ring at the minute, if you are looking at buying a boat. But whenever the boats are priced properly and they're presented properly and they're in good condition, they're definitely selling, and they're not taking that long to sell either. We had a little Fin Master 7050 Sports Family we popped online about 2 weeks ago, and during COVID I saw those boats changing hands for like 50 grand, which was a bit crazy. This boat we actually sold pre-COVID for about 35 grand. We advertised it at 35 grand and it sold sort of within a few days, you know. So the market is there. There are plenty of people looking to buy, so it's not all bad. Like for a buyer, it's great news. But if you have a boat to trade in or a boat to sell, which a lot of people do at the minute, it's not all bad news. Just price it properly. Don't be too greedy. Make sure it's well presented and serviced and all the rest of it, and it will sell if it's a nice example and priced at the right level. So I've been having this conversation with loads of people, so I thought I'd make this video to try and give a bit more information to so you don't have to pick up the phone and listen to me bang on about it for 5 or 10 minutes. You can watch this video and get my update on where the market is at the minute. And while I'm at it, this cranky, or cranchy, I call it cranchy, it is cranky. You don't need to tell me. I get loads of people telling me you're pronouncing the boat name wrong. That's fine, but it is cranky in Italian. But this cranky Zafiro 34 is a nice boat. We just dropped the price on it today or yesterday, whenever this video goes out. And yeah, hopefully it'll not take too long to find a new home now at what I would call the correct kind of price. So there you go. That's my update on what's going on with the boat market and boat prices at the minute. I hope you found it useful.